Oh, I'm just checking here.
So to kind of recap what we were just talking about, one of the first memories, or one of the first memories that seared itself into my consciousness because of being what I perceived as a threat as a child, was watching Donald Trump kill a litter of puppies. He did it in a variety of ways. As I stood there, they made me stand there, and he would harm or kill the puppy and then look to see what my reaction was. And in my child's brain, that registered because I viewed him as somebody more dangerous than my parents, and I knew that they would hurt me. So in my ability to reason, my reasoning was, if they were worse people than my parents, that they were somebody that might kill me. So that is why he was so. That's why I most of the stuff I just tried to forget. But with him, with Andy, and with Jim, I remembered them because they. The truth is, they scared me.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to summarize a bit about what we had discussed that wasn't recorded. So with Trump, when Trump murdered the puppies and forced you to watch, you were 8 or 9 years old. That was your first remembrance of Trump. And had Trump sexually assaulted and tortured you already?
Maybe, but I don't recall. I think what happened, and I'm relatively certain, but I think that was the precursor to him sexually assaulting me. So I think that was in an effort to make the experience as brutal as possible for me. That was the same kind of MO that was used with Patricia later on.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed to be that he would use his imagination as such to try to figure out what ways would be the most traumatic, to make the most traumatic experience, to destroy somebody, kind of traumatize somebody to the maximum potential possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first template of that, was watching him kill those puppies. And then the next higher order of that, and I couldn't tell you exactly how much time passed between, but I would say likely a couple of years, or at least a year later, before the instance with Patricia.
Okay. And the incident with Patricia was
when...
And
at that point...
Yeah.
At that point, I had already, in my mind, I had already thought, there's no way I'm going to live through this anyway. They're just going to torture me to death anyway. So I might as well do everything I can to fight back.
Okay. And so with the incident with Patricia, then recapping, they told you to go into another room with Patricia. There was film? They were filming?
No.
There wasn't filming in such a case?
What happened with me and Patricia, my dad, before we got to the party, said, hey, there may be somebody you know. I had been trafficked with her previously.
Yeah.
But she and I were as close to being friends as you could be. We were, in the same boat as far as, our station in life. So we had kind of become friends, and she ran up to me, and I can remember she's saying, hey, come go with me. And I said, I can't. And my dad said, no, it's okay. You guys go off and have fun. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, you can go just have fun. You're an adult now. And I can remember thinking in my mind, I was wondering, what happens next? And the only thing that I knew of really of being an adult was my dad. And I knew that he didn't go to these parties and get assaulted. So in my mind, I thought, well, maybe that part of my life is over. But anyway, we left. We wound up going into the farmhouse. We went into the room not at the behest of anybody else. She wanted to have sex with me because she knew I wouldn't hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I wouldn't swear to this part, but I am relatively certain she and I had already made some movies together, off, not at the farm, but at a shoot. But I didn't have sex in a way that brutalized people, because I kind of knew how that felt. So it was a matter of her kind of choosing somebody to try to go have sex with, so she wouldn't be placing her life in danger by having sex with one of these rich guys. So we went in and started having sex. This was not in front of anybody. It wasn't filmed that I know of. It was just, we kind of, if we were going to have the opportunity to go have sex with somebody, we were going to go have sex with each other, because that, in that instance, neither of us would get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But while we were in that room, after some period of time, the people at that party busted in, 6, 5, 6, 8 maybe people, big people, adults. At least one of them had a gun. I think 3 or 4 of them had a gun, to be honest with you. But then they assaulted her with me at gunpoint, and then they killed her in front of me. Mm-hmm. And said, that's what's going to happen to you if you don't do everything the next person that walks in this room what they want.
Do you think they knew Trump was going to walk in the room? Do you think they had premeditated that Trump would walk in the room next?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was just part of the experience for him, to traumatize me. And for all I know, he was watching through a crack in the wall. I don't know about that.
So like an escalation from the puppies.
Yes.
Okay. So Trump would traumatize you first and then sexually assault you. There was the incident when Trump murdered the puppies and forced you to watch. And then the incident when Trump had Patricia killed.
Yes.
Okay.